We're going to make a title block and border. And if you're following along with this video, feel free to pause it. I'm going to move quickly, but you can pause and restart as many times as you need to. That's the beauty of these videos. Tape your paper down properly. T-square against the edge. Bounce those two bottom corners so that it hits the clear plastic piece on the T-square. You're going to get it pretty well centered left to right on your drafting board, and I encourage you to put it a little higher than center on the drafting board, maybe 2 or 3 inches above the center. There's not many situations where you want it low on the drafting board. You want plenty of room down below for your drafting equipment. You can even put it right up at the very tippy top if you want to. Get all the wrinkles out of it. And then, just like any technical thing that you do, whether you're automotive, electrician, programming, you check your work. Yeah, that is perfectly square. You did it correctly. If I was getting something like this, I'd need to tape it down again. Okay. Take your scale, put it on your T-square. Whenever we're measuring horizontally, we always put the scale on the T-square. Holding it loose like that, you'll get inaccurate measurements. You're going to line your 0 up perfectly with that left side. We're going to make a little mark exactly at a 1/2 inch. We're also going to come in a 1/2 inch from the right. Those two lines are where we're going to draw vertical lines. These are going to be construction lines for now. You can use either triangle for this. You'll want to use your big triangle. This seems counterintuitive. I have to use what is your little triangle, but it's bigger for me. Anyhow. Construction line. So light only you can see it. Mechanical pencil does a nice job at making a nice light construction line. Holding it towards the back helps keep it nice and light. Now I have to make mine a little bit dark or else they won't show up on this camera. And remember, I'm a lefty, you're a righty, you're probably doing it this way. But I'm a lefty, so this is what we get. Again, another construction line. So light, you can barely see it. Now we're going to measure vertically. To measure vertically, T-square against the edge, triangle against the T-square, scale against the triangle. And you want to keep that low enough that you can slide your scale up and down and your scale doesn't hit your T-square. That gives you freedom to move anywhere you need to without moving everything. You're only moving that scale. Now, as far as whether you make these marks all the way to the left, all the way to the right, somewhere in the middle, it doesn't really matter. I'm making mine kind of here in the middle, sort of. I've got my 0 lined up with the bottom of my paper. I'm making a mark at a 1/2 inch, and I'm making a mark at 1 inch. You'll see why in a bit. I'm also measuring down a 1/2 inch from the top. A piece of paper is 8.5 inches, so if I put a mark at 8, that is a 1/2 inch down. Now those 3 lines I just made, the 3 marks, I'm going to draw horizontal lines. These can be darker because these are going to be permanent. Title block and border lines they're almost as dark as object lines. You could consider them object lines. It's close enough. Take care that they start and end exactly where they're supposed to. Nice and neat. You want to try for perfection. you royally botch up, just start over. And especially at stuff up here at the top, you may want to stand up. Gives you a better angle to look down and see things correctly. It's always okay to stand up while doing your drafting. Now that we have those, we can go over these and make these object lines, and they're just going to be object lines between there and there. Same thing over here. Those little bits of construction line that hang out, you can leave them. That shows me you did it right. The next measurements on our title block, I'm lining the 0 up with our left border line, not the end of the paper anymore, but that left border line. I'm going to put marks at 4 inches, 8 inches, and 9 inches. 4, 8, and 9. And those are going to be verticals. Again, you can use either triangle to draw a little vertical line there. And that triangle is against the T-square, and the T-square is against the edge of my drafting board. Now I need those construction lines for lettering. This is the bottom of my paper. Half inch up from that is this, the bottom of my title block. That's where I'm lining up my 0. I'm coming up from that 0 1/8 of an inch. Putting a mark there. Coming down from this one, 1/8 of an inch. Any 1/8 inch on here. You notice I didn't move my scale each time. An 1/8 inch is an 1/8 inch no matter where it is on there. Now at those 2 marks, I'm drawing construction lines. And these are going to stay construction lines. These are the construction lines I'm going to use to center my lettering. So nice and light, keep it nice and light. And those are now my lettering guidelines. Over here on the left, excuse me, first initial, last name. Or you can write your first name and last name if you want. All caps. Try to keep them straight up and down. Make sure your letters touch the top and bottom guidelines. And this we're freehanding. We don't use drafting equipment for the lettering. So first initial, dot, last name. Try to get it centered left to right so the space is even on both sides. I didn't do so good there, did I? So if you have a longer name, you're going to start it over here. If you have maybe a hyphenated last name and you only have room for one, just pick whichever one you want. Try to fit it in there. The middle, that's your drawing title. Title of your drawing goes there. This one is the date. The date format I would like you to use is, so today when I'm recording this video, it's the 9th of September. So I'm going to draw 9. 3 letters for the month, and then the year. This is 2024. If you want to just use numbers, stick with the month, day, day, month, year. No, month, day, year, like we do in the United States. So it would be Well, this would be 9/9, so it really wouldn't matter. But if it was September 3rd, you don't want to get September 3rd and March 9th mixed up. And then here on the right, you'll put your section. CP011 if you're a Career Prep 011 class, and then A, B, C, whatever section you're in. Okay. That's your title block.